WWE see these stars as future WrestleMania headliners. More main roster stars heading to NXT. And we've got an update on Triple H too, so stay tuned. So this might come as a bit of a shocker, perhaps, because, I mean, the way that these two men are being spoken about in this report from the Wrestling Observer is quite surprising to me. I think they're very talented people, but being described as future WrestleMania headliners potentially.
That's huge.
NXT's the Creed brothers. Dave Ryan, WWE management, is very high on the Creed brothers and believe Julius has picked up pro wrestling tremendously and is very smart. It's a nice compliment, isn't it? Stick them on, eggheads. There are internal comparisons being made of Julius and Kurt Angle when he started, and you can sort of see it as well. You can sort of see it, the style that they've got. I don't think we've seen obviously they've got a long way to go. They are picking it up really quick. I'm not sure that we've seen the sort of personality, the character yet, but certainly wrestling style, I can see that comparison.
Yeah.
Having seen both at the same stage, Angle was well ahead overall in pretty much every facet. The idea... That's Dave commenting there. The idea internally is both will be, at some point, WrestleMania headliners, which is the internal term used for big guys that they think have potential and that they can do that. So massive. What a bloody compliment to receive.
Getting compared to Kurt Angle in any respect, but it's particularly, with wrestling, when it comes to how quickly you pick up the business, that's something Kurt Angle... Ronda Rousey was the last person we saw that even came close, but Kurt was just unbelievable how quickly he just took to it. So
he didn't even like wrestling as a kid.
Yeah,
it was pretty alien to him. He did it because he couldn't do the amateur wrestling before, the Olympic style.
And it clicked, and that was it. And it's, to be compared to somebody like Angle, that's got to have you really, really buzzing, surely. So hopefully we're going to see some more good things from the Creed brothers in
absolutely.
years to come.
I think they're class. They're two that I'm quite surprised to read that about, and that's no disrespect to them at all. But WWE have obviously picked up on something. They think there's something special there.
They don't really talk about new prospects all that often in such a high regard, do they? So
yeah, good for them. Yeah. Good luck to them. But they're also high on a few more NXT talents.
WWE can't stop
very high.
Them.
No, they're WWE very high on LA Knight as well.
No
even though he's 39.
There.
No, you say that, but the age I thought might hold him back. I thought with him, he might fall into a sort of Bobby Roode hole. Where he's not been on NXT for that long either. But I can see him just sort of slotting in on Raw, maybe in the mid card, maybe in a tag team or something like that. But they love the guy apparently, even though he's 39. Company officials are very high right now on LA Knight, and as of a few weeks ago, he was slated for a main roster spot in the spring after WrestleMania.
That makes sense.
Which is interesting. It looked like he was coming up sooner, just with a little...
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we see him tonight, because he's somebody who's just been quietly bubbling away as more and more fan sentiment is just pushed into his favor. So people are really enjoying what he's doing. The company seems to be enjoying what he's doing, and I do feel like he could bring a fresh breath of air to the main roster. So, a good, if we can bring back one trope in WWE, I would like it to be, WrestleMania is the end and start of the year. And, we get the big call-ups after Mania. Yeah. It'd be nice to have a big statement debut in almost like a Jericho manner for him or something like that. Where he comes out and interrupts somebody important. And it's just like...
That's the way to do it. Get him on the mic straight away.
The guy's got enough experience to go out there and work, all night. So you've just got to find the right slot, get the right creative to him.
Yeah, I like LA Knight. We hear all the time, these reports of WWE being super high on somebody, and then 3 weeks later they're getting buried in the 24/7 title picture. I'm worried that'll happen with LA Knight. Yeah, he's quite an old school heel with a contemporary edge to him. I think his promo stuff is great, and he's solid in the ring. I can't remember many matches that I've gotten really excited about seeing LA Knight, and so we'll see. Anyway, I mean, it's one man's opinion. The other names also the management are high on: Von Wagner, and Zion Quinn. They're high on everybody right now. They're loving NXT 2.0.
They're just rolling around in it like it's catnip. But Von Wagner's not that surprising. He did appear on SmackDown. It was very confusing, like like a month ago or a few weeks ago now, a couple of months ago. God knows, my brain just turns everything into one day. He was just kind of stood next to Pierce, just going...
And that's your lot.
And he was featured really prominently in the shot, and then just nothing was ever said about it.
It was odd, that. Really odd. He just got lost. He was in the wrong room. He's gone to the wrong building. I don't understand that. Zion Quinn, great again. Yeah. It's the report says based on their look and size, they're very forgiving of their inexperience in the ring, hoping that they will pick things up in time. There's certainly improvement to be made.
Beefy boys.
Right. On both sides of that, there's improvement to be made. Von Wagner, I don't get it. I don't.
I'm just cautiously hanging in there with Von Wagner.
All right.
Like I want to see what he can do. I want to see, especially if they're looking at a main roster push. I want to know exactly what they want to do with him, and I hope it's not just going to be, like, no disrespect, but like an Eric Rowan style role where you're just kind of thrown into a group and very quickly kind of just pushed to the side.
See, I disagree. I think that's maybe what he needs. I think a group with some more experienced players might really help him out.
Yeah, maybe a group, but I think so long as he's not, just edged out a little bit, and he's, as long as he's featured as part of that group of more experienced talent or whatever, I think that would be quite cool.
Well, he's a big lad with a unique look in the way that cavemen don't exist anymore, except for Von Wagner. So again, good luck to all of those names. WWE also discussing using more main roster stars on NXT. There's talk of putting more Raw and SmackDown talent on NXT to build the ratings, like what Styles did, and that's really sensible, obviously.
It is sensible, but they've been going on and on and on about turning it more into a traditional developmental. So long as it's not done regularly, so long as it's a shock and it's surprising and it's fun when it happens, and it doesn't just become week in, week out, which SmackDown stars turning up on this week of NXT.
I get you.
Yeah, if they get a good storyline and they find the perfect fit, the perfect match between main roster and developmental, I think you can tell something really good. So, yeah.
To me, I would prefer, rather than AJ Styles popping up for a few weeks, I would like to see what Finn did and go down there and do something proper and put some people over and share his experience and all that stuff. That's really, really handy. So it'll be. I mean, obviously, it's handy having AJ come down for a few weeks.
Yeah.
But if you can get somebody who's not doing that much, like the one person that sort of springs to mind there, and obviously he is featured on TV, but Shinsuke. I think Shinsuke going back to NXT would be awesome. There's easy storylines to build there, and he's not doing a huge amount of substance, or he hasn't been anyway.
He's been kind of slowly cooling off all last year, really, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he's got better, obviously, recently, and it's good to see him back and everything. I'd like to see one more run in NXT for Shinsuke Nakamura. Maybe now isn't the time, actually, given his circumstances, but not in the not too distant future, I'd like to see that. But it's not just their own... I almost said employees, independent contractors that they are considering using. They're also, like back in the day, talking about bringing outside talent in. So big indie stars.
Should be doing it anyway.
Yeah, well, I agree. They used to, they brought in Gargano, Joe, Ciampa, and the idea is to bring them in, sign them for like a 6-week deal, work programs with the younger guys, but they would be able to, I guess it would be good for the NXT talent to be put over by some of the bigger names in the indie circuit. But also it would be a huge learning experience for sort of stuff outside the WWE system as well.
WWE, I mean, if they were to do this, it's going to cause a little bit of a rift, because I believe there'll be a lot of NXT talent then going, well, can I not get the same deal? But at the same time, I feel like... WWE doesn't really have any ambassadors at an independent level, it feels. Like AEW, you see AEW talent working on, Dynamite, and then they're at your local indie, like the week after, and it's like, oh my God, and you get to go along and see them, like the stars you see on TV. Well, those stars are working with a local talent, and say that local talent's really good, then it'll be, you have somebody there who's telling them about AEW and how AEW works, probably, and, how nice it is backstage, how everybody gets X, Y, Z. You've got people there that can kind of relay the AEW experience to these talents and how they got signed and everything. But when WWE talent ends up back on the indies, it's always after a release. And so they don't really have, it feels, somebody out there going, oh, well, it's actually not as bad as you think and blah, blah, blah. You don't have people out there just chatting about their experiences, it feels.
You're totally right. Yeah, I didn't really see it in that way. I think you raised a good point there, that it actually benefits both sides, doesn't it? It benefits, in this case, the NXT talent, the contracted NXT talent, coming in and having somebody who's got a wealth of experience on the indies, where they may not have that. But also, it benefits that indie worker potentially getting to a bigger platform in the end as well.
Goes wrestles Samoa Joe one week and Joe's like, boys, you got to check this guy out. He's awesome.
There you go. We are finishing up with an update on Triple H. And it's written in the Wrestling Observer once again, there are no plans right now, or even if, Paul Levesque will be returning to running NXT, or for him to do any creative in the company due to health issues. Obviously, if his health improves and he wants to, that could change, but the word is that it's not anything I've been told is happening imminently. They are very happy with Shawn Michaels right now, feeling that he's under pressure to make stars fast with the changes to the show, and he made Breaker, Carmella Hayes, Knight, Grayson Waller, Tony D'Angelo into stars very quickly. So it's gutting to hear. To me, I was thinking about this yesterday. I was like, imagine being Triple H and like this awful thing happens to him, and obviously we send him our best and everything. But his project of the last 10 years or so has been completely gutted while he's away. He's lost a lot of the people that he worked with very, very closely just due to the NXT releases and NXT stuff being shuffled about. Loads of the trainers. How crap, coming back, it's a completely different beast. And he's a professional, of course. Like if he's healthy enough to do it, it wouldn't surprise me.
But how are you supposed to go and return to, like, I know me personally, I probably couldn't do it. And I'd just be like, okay, you know what, I'm probably never coming back again to work in that way, because I worked really hard on this, so it didn't kind of do what you thought it was going to do, and then I have this bad life situation happen to me. It's very scary, huge thing. Hopefully, everything's going to be fine there now, but to come back and step in and everything is now alien except for like a few faces, and I'd have just been like, just send me back up main roster, I'll help out backstage.
Yeah, it's just a bit it's a bit sad. Anyway, the most important thing is hopefully he is recovering and doing okay day to day. That is it from us. Once again, just plug in the Rumble content, live stream tonight. We got WTF live review show. What happened? That coming tomorrow. There's loads of Rumble content on the channel. I'll stop talking now. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back for one more news video before the stream tonight in a few hours, and you can find out which major star WWE have re-signed. So stay tuned for that. Oh, what a tease. Bye.